Breaking news, authorities on scene in Palm Desert at a Skechers store where a suspicious package was found. The bomb squad's been called in. We'll have up-to-the-minute details.
It's what makes me feel alive. It almost killed me, I guess.
An exclusive interview with a 75-year-old hiker missing for days in our local mountains, what he endured and how he survived. And continuing coverage on the Paris prison house. Hear from the aunt of the 13 kids held captive by their parents. Also, signs you should look for in your own neighborhood to help report suspicious activity.
Now, live from the desert's news leader, this is Breaking News.
Good evening, I'm Karen Devine. John White has the night off. We're following breaking news out of Palm Desert tonight where a suspicious package was discovered at the Skechers near Highway 111. News Channel 3's Joe Galley is live in Palm Desert outside the Skechers store with the latest as the bomb squad is now on scene there. Joe.
We're going to show you a live picture right now. We're going to keep this camera zoomed in pretty far. They've actually expanded this perimeter for the time that we've been here, so we're probably about more than 100 feet away from this bomb disposal robot that's been checking out this package that's deemed to be a suspicious package. It looks like we actually have a second bomb disposal robot that the bomb squad is actually coming right down the asphalt on this parking lot right now. So far, it looks like there's two different robots here. The first robot that they sent in had a little claw and took it off of that small wall that's right in front of the Skechers, and then the box fell out of that hand, a little robot hand that it had, and they actually had to bring in these two separate robots. Now, the first robot that's by that box right now is some sort of other box. It could be some sort of X-ray device. These robots are full of all kinds of sophisticated equipment to be able to look inside a box without actually physically opening it. Now, this all happened because allegedly a man came inside that Skechers, and according to store employees, was actually being pursued by a plainclothes police officer. That man then went inside the store office of this Skechers and tried to barricade himself inside with an employee inside the office. That plainclothes officer was able to muscle his way inside that office, and the employee managed to escape unharmed. That man was arrested. Police believe that he might be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Then the employees at the Skechers told me they were forced to evacuate when police discovered that box sitting outside of the Skechers that they believe the suspect had left behind. Now, the suspect has been arrested. He's long gone, but we've been here in this parking lot for over an hour now. Bomb Squad, as you can see, now has these two robots inspecting the suspicious package. We have no idea what's inside or why they think that this package might be suspicious, but you can see that it's a very active scene right now. The Sheriff's Department's doing everything to take every precaution necessary here. We were actually a lot closer to the front of the store earlier, but as soon as the bomb squad arrived, they kicked us a lot further deeper into this parking lot. So if anything else develops here, we'll let you know for sure right here and online. For now, reporting in Palm Desert, I'm Joe Galley.
Again, a developing story. Thank you, Joe. And of course, we'll have more details on that as details come into the newsroom. Continuing coverage on a man who survived 3 days and 2 nights lost in our local mountains. 75-year-old Roger Dannon of Palm Springs survived freezing temperatures, a fractured shoulder, and dehydration. News Channel 3's Joe Galley filed this exclusive report before heading out to breaking news.
Roger Dannon has been hiking trails in and around the Coachella Valley for more than 30 years. Last Wednesday, Dannon and his hiking buddy Gordon attempted to hike the Joe Pond Trail for the first time. The trail starts near Idlewild and goes for about 13 miles. There was snow on the trail. The two got lost and encountered a cliff.
My shoe slipped. I started sliding down on my butt, and about halfway down, my left leg caught a little crack in the thing, and I stopped. But I was out in the middle of this rock with no way to get off of it.
Dannon had to take his shoes off to get down the rock, cutting up his feet and legs. His hiking partner tried to get down to him, but they got separated. As the sun set, Dannon found a stream and decided to follow it.
And all of a sudden I hit a drop-off, dropped about that far down and hit my shoulder and fractured my shoulder at that time.
Night 1 was rough. Dannon didn't sleep. Day 2 was just as bad.
I was hallucinating, and I thought I saw a van up there with a guy opening the back of it. It turned out to be a rock.
Night 2 was torture. Dannon could hear helicopters searching for him, but he didn't have a light to signal rescuers where he was. By Friday, things were looking desperate.
The third night, I might not make it at all, because I was out of water and food for a day and a half.
And it turns out Dannon was not alone on the mountain.
they'd actually seen a mountain lion tracks near me.
At about 7:30 in the evening, rescuers were close.
I heard the helicopter, and I said, "You got to pull yourself up." So I got up, pulled myself up, and the light shined. And I went, "Oh my God!" They found me, and anyway, they said, "If you're Roger Dannon, wave your hand," and I did, and they said, "We'll be back in 20 minutes for you." And
Dannon is recovering from his injuries and says he's not done hiking, but from now on, he's always going to bring a solar-powered light with him. Joe Galley, News Channel 3.
Well, Dannon said he's eternally grateful for all the people who worked to get him off the mountain, and he plans on volunteering with those same rescue people who saved his life. Continuing coverage on the investigation into the Paris prison home, today sheriff's detectives went back inside, collecting evidence from the area where 13 siblings were allegedly held captive, some of whom were chained to furniture. Tonight we hear from their aunt, who says her sister and husband, David and Louise Turpin, the children's parents, have isolated themselves from the family for years.
I've asked for 20 years to be able to Skype them. I don't want them to know they do have family that they love, whether they know us or not. I want you to that love them.
The couple is being held on $9 million bail and are set to be arraigned in a Riverside courtroom tomorrow afternoon. The news conference will be held at 11, and we will be streaming it online. Well, neighbors are also reacting to the Turpin family. Officials with the Department of Public Social Services say they received more than 58,000 calls to their child abuse hotline in 2017. 6,500 of those calls proved to be true. Local nonprofits who teach child safety techniques like Christopher's Clubhouse says it's important to speak up if you see or feel anything suspicious is going on. Valley residents we spoke with today told us they wouldn't hesitate to call police if they noticed something wasn't right in their neighborhood.
You can live next to someone for 20 years, you don't have any idea who they are, what they do. And when someone's got a house next to you, how do you know what they're doing? So what I think is neighbors need to be more involved.
It looked like a normal neighborhood from the house, and you would have thought somebody would have seen something strange.
Michael Moulton with Christopher's Clubhouse recommends doing a welfare check or calling social services on neighbors if you feel something is up. And you can find continuing coverage on the Paris prison home at KESQ.com and on our News Channel 3 mobile app. Get up-to-the-minute information anytime into the investigation. Plus, find all of our in-depth reports since this story first went to air. Well, the man arrested in South Dakota with his own mother's body in the vehicle will be extradited to the Valley, where he will face charges. 30-year-old Tostin Lohman admitted to choking his mother, 58-year-old Michelle Walsh, to death in Palm Springs, then attempting to clean up that scene with bleach. Stay with News Channel 3 for the latest information on this case. Authorities have released